Thank you, everyone, for being here. My name is Erica Monis, Assistant Executive Director of the Fall River Community Development Agency. Tonight's public hearing is being held to provide residents of Fall River and all interested parties with the opportunity to express their views on the following: housing and community development needs, the needs of the homeless, the development of proposed activities, including activities related to community housing development organizations, and program performance in the City of Fall River. The City of Fall River Consolidated Plan was approved by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on June 10th, 2020. That document identified community development, housing, and homeless needs and a schedule of activities to address them over a 5-year period, a time frame that will come to a conclusion on June 30th, 2025. We are developing an annual action plan that will present a schedule of activities and projects to be undertaken during this, the 5th year of that 5-year cycle, that are designed to meet and address the needs in conformance with the established strategies. Testimony, statements, letters, requests for funding, and petitions submitted at tonight's hearing will be used in development of that annual action plan for the program year commencing July 1st, 2024. Completed requests for funding must be submitted to the Fall River Community Development Agency no later than January 24th, 2024. Copies of the request for funding forms are available at the sign-in table at the office of the Fall River Community Development Agency, 1 Government Center, and on the City of Fall River municipal website, fallriverma.gov. A summary of the proposed annual action plan is to be published on February 23rd, 2024 in the Herald News. It will also be made available for public review at the office of the Fall River Community Development Agency, and we're located on the 6th floor at Government Center. Another public hearing has been scheduled for March 6, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. here in the City Council chamber to afford residents the opportunity to review and comment on the proposed Year 5 annual action plan. Residents will have until March 25th, 2024 to submit additional comments. All statements received during this review period will be considered in development of the City of Fall River's Year 5 annual action plan. According to the submission timetable, copies of the plan and pertinent related information materials will be submitted to the City Council by April. The City Council will consider enactment of a resolution authorizing Mayor Paul E. Coogan to file the Year 5 plan with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on or about May 1st, 2024. Year 50 of Fall River's Community Development Block Grant Program, Year 33 of the Home Program, and Year 38 of the Emergency Solutions Grant Program are scheduled to begin July 1st, 2024. The City of Fall River anticipates receiving approximately $2,631,000 for eligible CDBG program activities, $1,164,000 for the home program, and $242,000 for ESG program activities. This estimation assumes the city will be level funded for the upcoming program year. Federal regulation requires that citizens be provided information concerning the amounts of funds that will be available and the range of activities that may be undertaken. This and additional information was furnished in display advertisements in the following locations: the Herald News, cable television, and the City of Fall River municipal website. The format of this public hearing will be to allow participants the opportunity to express their views of the city's housing and community development needs, the needs of the homeless, and of program performance, and to submit requests for funding. Prepared statements will be accepted. Persons wishing to speak have been asked to sign a separate speaker's sheet and will be called to testify. Each speaker should state his or her name and address, and if appropriate, the agency or organization represented. Before we begin the proceedings and testimony, I would like to acknowledge the following statements are requests for funding that have been submitted to us thus far. We have received a letter of support from Bristol County Economic Development Consultants who will be submitting an RFF and plans on giving testimony tonight. We have received a letter of intent from the Fall River Council on Aging for the 4 senior centers in the city. along with a letter of support from the Fall River Community Housing Resource Board, who is an area CHODO, Community Housing Development Organization, that we work with. So first signed up to speak and give testimony, we have Kenneth, Executive Vice President of Bristol County Economic Development Consultants.
Thank you, and good evening. As noted earlier, we did actually submit this letter via email earlier today, but for the record, I'd just like to take this opportunity to actually have it formally introduced into the record. Dear Mr. Dion, on behalf of the Board of Directors of Jobs for Fall River, Inc., doing business as Bristol County Economic Development Consultants, we will be seeking FY25 Community Development Block Grant funding for the delivery of economic development activities designed to benefit low and moderate income people to distressed census tracts and throughout the city of Fall River. As you are aware, Jobs has successfully and productively administered CDBG funds for economic development since 1978. From 1978 through fiscal year 2023, Jobs has invested CDBG, EDA, and SBA funds in distressed census tracts and in projects that have created and retained more than 15,500 quantifiable jobs for low and moderate income individuals. Throughout this time frame, Jobs has also been able to provide more than $80 million in low-interest financing to 680 Fall River businesses from CDBG and other loan and grant programs, which has helped to leverage more than $297 million in private sector investment within our community. In addition to creating jobs for low and moderate income people and helping revitalize areas of distress, our economic development efforts have had a significant impact on the local economy through the generation of local real estate and excise tax. In fact, more than $3.5 million annually in property and excise taxes collected by the city of Fall River from projects within our economic development portfolio. As we move forward with funding for the next year, Jobs intends to continue its economic development program in FY25 and to continue the operation of our previously approved economic development objectives, including the administration of a revolving low-interest loan fund designed to create and retain jobs for low and moderate income people within high-poverty census tracts throughout the city. As such, in order to continue to help create and retain jobs for low and moderate income people and revitalize distressed census tracts, Jobs will be submitting under separate cover a full FY25 RFF application to your office no later than January 26, 2024. Again, thank you for your consideration of this request. Thank you for your professional management of CDBG funds throughout the entirety of its program. And should you have any questions or need any additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Next up to speak, we have William Kiley, Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club in Fall River.
Hi, my name is Bill Kiley, Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club in Fall River. The Boys and Girls Club requests funding for two programs through the CDBG. One of our programs is the STEP program, our Summer Teen Enrichment Program. It's a program that has been funded in past years through the CDBG, and it's designed to support teens with college search, career exploration, life skills, social emotional health, and making good choices about risky behaviors that they face. We will also be submitting a proposal to support our aquatics program. The aquatics program consists of free swim lessons, fun swim, swim team, all at no cost for members. Also, job training in junior guard program and Red Cross lifeguard certification for members. Happy to answer any questions, and we plan to submit a full proposal.
Great. Thanks, Bill. We look forward to receiving the proposal. Next up, we have Stephanie Mancini, Executive Director of the Fall River YMCA.
Good evening. I'm just going to read the letter and I'll hand it to you afterwards. But thank you for the opportunity, once again, to apply for the Community Development Block Grant funding. My name is Stephanie Mancini, Senior Executive Director for YMCA South Coast, Fall River, and Swansea. YMCA South Coast is seeking funding for the Community Development Block Grant Program for the Fall River YMCA's Educational Achievement Center, otherwise known as the EAC program. The Fall River Y has been serving the greater Fall River area since 1857. We are committed to strengthening our community through youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. It is that commitment to our community that gave us the initiative to complete an $11 million revitalization project, of which $5 million was dedicated to child care programming, including the EAC. The EAC was piloted in 2015 to promote growth and development for all Fall River residents and to be a community resource where families could continue to expand their knowledge. The goal is to address the academic disparities among underprivileged students and their peers by providing quality of out-of-school time programming for Fall River elementary and early middle school youth. Prior to the pandemic, the EAC was providing after-school enrichment programming to an average of 150 students through the school year and 75 to 100 during the summer learning loss program. Summer enrollment has been dependent on funding, servicing approximately 400 students over the past 6 years, with the exception of summer 2020. All children enrolled receive a free YMCA family membership to the Y, equivalent to over $900 annually. Membership includes a variety of traditional programming, including aquatics, group exercise, youth sports, and more. The goal of the EAC is to provide programming that focuses on enrichment and STEAM projects to supplement the loss over the past 3 years. We have serviced over 700 children between ages 5 to 12. Actually, that number's gone up throughout the program's lifespan. Though we did not meet our anticipated goals of last year, we intend on offering the program to all of our child care program enrollees, along with our campers over the age of 10. We have the potential to enroll up to 130 during the school year and upwards of 160 during the summer months. We anticipate meeting this goal. We are respectfully requesting $25,000 to support the continuation of the Fall River YMCA's Educational Achievement Center. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks, Stephanie. Would you like to lead that? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Sheila Chassie from the Catholic Social Services of Fall River, who is the Director of Housing.
Good evening. Thank you for the invite. So Catholic Social Services is now Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Fall River, Massachusetts, Inc. Good evening. Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Fall River is requesting to continue and administer HUD's Emergency Solutions Grant Funds awarded through the Fall River Community Development Agency. Funds are targeted specifically for households living at the extremely low income level, below 30% area median income. These households are the most vulnerable to becoming homeless due to the fiscally fragile situations they already find themselves in. The ESG assistance at least aims to alleviate the housing cost burden within the community. The current fiscal year, coordinated entry system receives approximately 16 calls per day. Some days are greater from Fall River area residents seeking services for homeless prevention and rapid rehousing. In the first 6 months of this current grant term, Catholic Charities has assisted 28 households with financial assistance, and we have expended all of our funding this funding year. Catholic Charities has requested additional ESG funding from the City of Fall River, and to meet the needs of the community. Catholic Charities also works collaboratively with other area providers, including the Fall River Housing Authority, South Coast Housing Court, Tenancy Preservation Program, First Step In, shelters, and directly with the community to ensure eligible households in need of ESG services are referred and assessed properly. Over the years, Catholic Charities has been honored to partner with Fall River Community Development Agency in carrying out the mutual mission to develop a viable community, providing decent housing, and by expanding economic opportunities for its low and moderate income residents. We welcome the opportunity to continue to receive ESG homeless prevention and rapid rehousing funding under this year's RFF. You're welcome. I just want to express deeply that this community is in need of additional housing assistance. We are not only seeing low-income families suffer through this housing crisis, but we're seeing moderate-income families also suffer, including the elderly population. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila.
You're welcome.
Would anyone else like to speak or give testimony? Okay, we have Jessica Howard from the Heron Group.
Thank you. So I'm Jessica Howard. I'm the Executive Director of the Heron Center. We are a nonprofit organization in Fall River. We are located at 187 Plymouth Avenue in Fall River in the Durfee Mill building. So this is my first time, so I respectfully am requesting funding for our Let's Feel Good program to benefit the Fall River community. This initiative provides a group of wellness-based educational programs that support physical and mental, social, emotional learning, and creative arts education in Fall River. Our goal is to ensure that quality educational experiences and wellness programs become accessible to everyone in our community. And over the 12 years that we've been in the community, we have very much been focusing on the underserved community members. Since 2011, our nonprofit organization has offered community-based services to the public. Our space and programs began because of the generosity of a family trust, Greg Scolanti and the Scolanti Family Trust, and we still receive long-term continued support from them. In addition, we have, in the past 3 years, been receiving funding through our arts and cultural programs, through the Mass Cultural Council, the Fall River Local Cultural Council as well, in addition to the Fall River Rotary and support of our programs. And due to our grassroots approach and focus on service, you may not be aware of what we've been doing in the community. So I'm grateful for your time and to just share with you a little glimpse of what we've accomplished since our 12 years of service. But I'll just share just last year alone in 2023. So in 2023, we offered and hosted over 19 arts, cultural, and wellness events to the community that supported and 36 different performance artists. And in addition to vendors that were a part of that and entrepreneurs. In addition to supporting economic and tourism, we a lot of our programs have brought in people from New York, Connecticut, Maine. In addition to, we have one coming up where we're having people fly in from the United Kingdom, Canada, Texas, and Arizona. So due to the diverse nature of our programming and unique offerings, we bring in a lot of people from outside our area as well. We last year alone offered 150 free hours that we gifted to artists in our community for live performances, for creative development and workshops. We supported 21 free wellness programs each month last year, which included weekly meditations, chair yoga, inclusive dance for the neurodiverse community, and mindfulness. And let's see, we also focus on sustainability and education on ecosystems so people understand how to live in harmony with our world. We had volunteering programs where we had 25 different volunteers last year that helped out with our cultural events, but in addition to working outside in nature. And we paid support to over 30 different contractors last year. So we run a teacher training program, and this is our 10th year. So not only do we help people in support of their own healthier lifestyle, we provide job opportunities to people in the community. We have been providing programs to the underserved members of our community, such as elderly, people with addictions and trauma, low-income families, and neurodiverse individuals. We have established programs in partnership with organizations like Bristol Elders and Bristol Community College, the Fall River Comprehensive Treatment Center, the STAR IOP program, the Fall River Public Schools, and many more in order to serve the needs of our communities. And we are seeking your support because we've received an increase of demand for our services for these individuals and other local organizations in our community. And we know from the scientific data and research out there that our programs truly make a huge impact and benefit the wellness of individuals. And your support means that we can reach more of the underserved people in our community, which helps to lighten the load of individuals and our families, and just continues that legacy of kindness forward. So the initiative itself has 4 different programs: social emotional health, stress management for people with trauma and addiction, support for the neurodiverse individuals through a creative arts program, and low individual income families providing scholarships for our educational programs and training. In addition to the mindfulness programs, we're seeking like vouchers so people can attend free, and it helps pay for the instructor stipends. And I have the letter if you would like it.
Great, thank you,
If you have any
Jessica.
questions, let me know.
Thank you. We look forward to receiving your proposal.
Thank you. Yes, I will submit the final proposal too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you are.
I'd also like to acknowledge that we did receive a letter of support from Greater Fall River Recreation Committee, Inc. for their community development program for continued funding of that program. Is there anyone else that would like to speak or give testimony at this public hearing? All right, thank you everyone for being here. Just a reminder on the dates, the request for funding applications are due January 24th, and the citizen public comment deadline is March 25th, 2024. If you have any questions, you can reach out to our office. We are located on the 6th floor of Government Center, room 633. That concludes this public hearing. Thank you. Have a great night.